We have a quorum of 569 people. We will call the meeting to order.
What time is it?
I would like to ask Mr. Robert Tipicani, I saw him somewhere, if he would offer us a word of prayer, please, to open our meeting.
Good afternoon to all of us. You know, it's a beautiful day and it's a wonderful thing to see 500 plus Comanche people here. Our wonderful Savior, our Lord, our God, is thrilled, I know, to see all of you here. And we're here for the good of our nation. We're here gathering for good things to happen to the Comanche nation. So let's go to our wonderful Father in prayer. Ta'apua, ta'apua, tu'a. How we greet you, how we praise you, how we honor you. Father, you're so good to us. When we look around this facility, we see things that are such a blessing to us. But Father, now fill us with your Holy Spirit. Let us come and gather with good feelings. Let us be positive. Throw away the negatives. Let us be that people that you want us to be, who honor you, to walk your road and to also walk in a good way, being good to one another, caring about one another, sharing with one another. Our forefathers, all those that lived before us, were that way. They cared for each other. They shared. They went out and hunted, and they gathered. They brought it back, and they shared with their family and others, with the whole nation. Father, let us go back to that way. Let us behave in good ways. Fill us with that goodness, Father. We need it. We need it more than ever. And guide us now as we go about important things for this nation. The financial matters, the governance matters, all the things that we see. Guide us, Father. Give us wisdom. Give us knowledge. Let us do that again, which is just and fair to everyone. And let us be the good people you want us to be, Father. And forgive us where we fail you. Guide us now. We're thrilled, Father. We're here. The 500 plus, let us all be positive. Guide us now. We give you the honor, the glory. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Thank you, Mr. Tipicani. We're very thankful to have each and every one of you here today. Thank you for coming out and taking your time to participate in our governmental process. Thank you. First portion of the meeting will be nomination of officers. At this time, we will take nominations for chairman. If you would approach in an orderly fashion, we would appreciate it. Please state your name and who you're nominating.
Hello, my name is Thomas Narcomi, and I'd like to nominate Gene Pinka for the chairman.
Excuse me, Mr. Narcomi, when you make your nomination, if you would, go over and see Bonnie to fill out a paper, because how you nominate is how they will appear on the ballot. So, go over there.
My name is Michaela Masetki Gutierrez, and I'm nominating Mac Masetki Jr.
My name is Theo Naito, and I'm here to nominate Willie Owens for chairman.
My name is Norman Onai, and I nominate Willie Nelson, chairman.
My name is Geneva Hadley, and I nominate Nick Tachawika for chairman.
My name is Jan Cartwright. I nominate Mike Burgess for chairman.
My
name is Gene Sovo, and I nominate Billy Comachit for the chairman.
At this time, nominations will cease. Or- Thank you. Motion made to cease nominations by Ms. Sanders. Do we have a second? Tell her your name, please. Thank you. Motion nominations for chairman cease at this time. Next will be committee person number 1.
My name is Mary Tosi. I nominate Jack Totaponi.
My name is George Poway, and I nominate the incumbent Jonathan Poway for seat number 1. Udaku.
I make a motion that the nomination cease.
He was coming up. I'm sorry, Phyllis. It just took him a while to get here. I recognized him, though.
My name is Lanny Asapermi, and I nominate Ron Red Elk.
Over there. Ms. Narcomi, would you like to?
I make a motion that the nomination cease.
Have a second? Thank you. At this time, nominations cease for committee person number 1. We'll move forward with committee person number 2.
My name is Jarvis Poway, and I'd like to nominate, I forgot who I had to nominate. Mr. Tahano. Tahano.
Which one?
Which one?
Which one is it? Vernon Tahano.
Who?
Vernon.
Oh, Vernon, okay.
My name is Willie Nelson, and I sure would like to nominate Mr. Vincent Ben Pokowachik.
Mr. Nelson, if you would, go over there, please. Thank you.
My name is Oscar Cotaponi, and I would like to nominate Charles Wells.
My name is Laverne Toshaqua, and I'd like to nominate Eddie Wayne Odyssey.
My name is Juanita Pataponi, and I'd like to nominate Gary Tomakara.
Joseph Aitson, I nominate Janet Sopity.
Who was it?
Janet Sopity.
Okay.
My name is Gerald Burton. I'd like to nominate Mark Wadua.
Where'd that come from? Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. We have a motion. We have a second. Thank you. At this time, motion carries to cease nominations for committeeman number 2. Next point of business is tribal administrator's position.
My name is Phyllis Narcomi, and I nominate Jimmy Arterberry for Tribal Administrator.
My name is Sonia Tachawika. I would like to nominate Sonia Navakoya for Tribal Administrator.
My name is Audrey Whitefeather, and I nominate Valiente Herrera for Tribal Administrator.
My name is Candace Wilson. I want to nominate Robert Comanche.
You better bring up.
Patrick Masecki, and I'd like to nominate Marilyn Figueroa for
Who? Marilyn?
Marilyn Figueroa.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Who seconded? Who?
I think, who?
Vicky?
Yeah, Vicki Sanders seconded. We need to.
She can't work for the tribe for 3 years. She can't run for office for 3 years either.
We've recorded it. Okay. Just be patient for a second, please. I have it. Mm-hmm.
This is to the business community though.
Based upon the Constitution, Section 8, it reads, "In addition, an officer or committeeman who has completed 2 consecutive terms on the business committee should not be eligible within the Comanche tribal governmental system until a period of 3 years has elapsed. For the purpose of this section, any portion of a term shall be considered as 1 term." So based upon this, that's in the Constitution, based upon what I've just read, Sonia Nevaquaya is not eligible to run for tribal administrator. So the candidates for tribal administrator reads as Jimmy Audubary, Valiente Herrera, Robert Comachit, and Marilyn Figueroa.
Madam Chairman, can I address that situation there? Because everybody got a handout a while ago about that tribal administrator, that he has to have a degree. He must have a degree. Okay, that's what that handout says. And so we need to go by that handout. Even the election board, they need to go by that handout. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. At this point, hang on a second, please. At this point, we're going to ask each person that was nominated for TA to come up and speak to the people so you can hear what they're going to do for the tribal members, what their qualifications are, and then we'll go from there. So I'd like to give each nominated person a chance to come up here and address the general council. 10-minute minimum. Jimmy, you're up first.
I really just need a couple of minutes to tell you thank you. First of all, I've been in this interim position for 5 months, and I appreciate the opportunity to work with the committee and the employees to try to get us back on track, get our bills paid, serve our community, and then work towards the future. I don't need 10 minutes. I just need a couple of minutes to say thank you for that. And my background, I have a master's degree in museum administration, a bachelor's degree in Native studies. So my educational history has been in history, art, and culture. So if you're ready to keep moving forward, I'm ready to work with you. So thank you for the opportunity, and I would appreciate your support.
Hello, everyone. My name is Valiente Herrera. For those of you that don't know me, I'm going to give you a brief history of my education, my family background, and then I'm going to tell you what my plans are as your next administrator. I graduated from Cache High School in 1994, and I served 8 years in the military. I spent 2003 in Iraq, 2006 as a civilian contractor working on government contracts and logistics, and then I came back here. I got out of the military. I'm 100% disabled. I got a full military retirement. I came back here, and I started back at Cameron in 2010. I have 2 degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in finance, and I have an associate's degree in business administration. Now, I think that the best thing for the tribe to do over these last few months, we've been through some major changes. And last year I came up here and I spoke to this general council, and I told everyone that we were in a deficit of $2.5 million and $15 million overspent. Now, the previous administrator came up and he said, yes, I overspent all this money on the tribal members. Well, that's not true. He spent the money on private contractors, sole sourcing, and friends and family. Now, I don't think that's fair to our people that happened, but as you know, we have a forensic audit going on right now. And in the next few months, that forensic audit is going to bear light to everything that we said last year and the previous months. And there's another thing on the budget that I want to talk about. It's called charitable funds. Now, this charitable funds is in the revenue allocation plan that we have to follow. And if you looked at your budgets, it says 0. Now, I don't know why we're supposed to go up on the ballot and vote yes or no for 0. It is in that revenue allocation plan that there has to be money in there for charitable funds. And what that does, it doesn't go to pay your fines or help your buddy or pay somebody's bills. What that does is go to the communities. It goes to our young kids. It goes to the elderlies who can't help themselves or they don't have family to help themselves. This is what that's for, and I'd like to see that go back on the ballot so the people can vote on it and at least have a voice to say whether they want it or not. You know, as your tribal administrator, I want to see fairness for the employees. I want to push for education for our young people. I want to push for education that we have our college. I know this year, May 5th, they're going up for accreditation, and I'd like to see them get that. I went there as a student, and they did a lot of good for me. So everybody keep the college in their prayers so that we can become accredited and have something for our nation. We have too much invested in it to see it fail. So with that, I'd like to ask each and every one of you for your support and your vote today as your next tribal administrator. Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robert D. Comancheek Jr., and if you look at your flyers, that's mostly what I represent, and I'm not going to sit up here and talk because I'm not a politician. I'm not going to talk and put down people for what they done already. All I know is we done did it, and it's time to move on. And with my experience as 30 years working for tribes, I think I could put us in that new direction that we all need to go, and I know we're all hungry to move forward, so we could help support more people. We got a lot of people, tribal members, that's not getting served at this time, and we need to serve more of them through our programs. And I think this money will stable out too. With all the spending that was going on top now, it's gonna all fluctuate back down. There's no need to get rid of no employees or threaten people. It all settle down. All you have to do is let the money settle back down and all these people will be working again. And with my experience, I think I could manage this because I was here in 2012, and you know I got recalled. And I got recalled, yes, and it was a bad deal because if I didn't get recalled in 2012, we wouldn't be here talking about the things we're talking about now because we wouldn't have got all this money in a hole with what we were trying to do. And all the other people here that was helping us, you know, all the tribal members, they could have all benefited from all this money that got spent and lost. So with that thing, I'm gonna say, I can lead you forward because I have the experience to do all the things that I want to do and help each and every one of you, the youth, the college, everything else, because I've been around it working for the Northeastern tribes for 30 years, and I've seen how they've multiplied and grown, and there ain't no reason why we, as Comanche people, can't be the same and be even bigger and greater than anybody else. God bless you.
Robert. Avon. Hang on, Miss Figueroa, please. They're asking you if you have a degree. They're asking your education, your degree.
Well, I didn't see experience to teach myself.
That's the tribal administrator's job description. It wasn't what we created. It's been in place since 2007. Yes, sir. They were just asking. Go ahead, Ms. Figueroa.
Okay. My name is Marilyn Masetki Figueroa. I'm Comanche. I've been born and lived around here in Lawton. I've worked here with the tribe for like 30 plus years. I have Back in 2001, I was entrusted to begin our prescription assistance program, and it's very successful for today. We had, I was over like the fitness center, diabetes, prescription, optometry, and we made it successful. It's a very useful program for all of to serve our tribal members. We want to do more because we are first. When a person walks in the door, I tell my staff, you know, recognize them. When they first come in, say hello. You may not be able to help them at that moment, but at least recognize them. Always treat people with respect and dignity. In 2001 also, I started out the diabetes program. The tribe had offered the LPN class. I attended that, and I am an LPN right now. I am working in the diabetes program currently. And I've been here, I have the experience, like I said, as a supervisor for about 16 years with all those programs. And anyway, I want to see us move forward. What has happened so far is gone. Today is a new slate. So I want to, be given, take this opportunity to serve and help our nation, the Comanche Nation. So, just come together, like he said earlier, let's come together as one. Quit fighting, let's pray for one another, because he's what's important, our God in heaven. He's the most important thing. So whether you vote for me or not, let's move forward, okay? Thank you.
The numbers on the ballot coincide with the names. There's blanks there, don't fill in the blank, just fill in the arrow. Just like this, you're just filling in the arrow next to the
Right.
precinct.
Okay, the candidates' names are up on the screens. How you vote, you just fill in the blank, the arrow, according to the person's name that you want to vote for.
On the ballot, it just has numbers, so you're gonna.
On the ballot, it just has numbers. Number 1 will be Jimmy Otterberry. Number 2 will be Beliente Herrera. Number 3 will be Robert Comachit. And number 4 will be Marilyn Figueroa. So you're voting by number. Look up here if you get lost. 1, 2, 3, and 4 coordinates with their name. Please let the elders and the handicapped go on the far wall, please.
When are we gonna stop the registration?
I thought we'd.
You can wait till they actually finish the
Registration
Registration is closed.
is closed at this time, 2:15. Test, test. At this time, we'd like to reconvene. We got the numbers back for the tribal administrator position, and with 65.24% of the vote is Jimmy Otterberry. At this time, we would like to have the attorneys, the tribal attorneys that are vying for the position with the tribe, to please come forward. Where's the list? I will, as soon as I find my list.
We'll call you one at a time.
The first attorney to come up and speak to us with about a 10-minute maximum, please. This is how the attorneys' applications came into the tribe. So that's how we determine how they went on this list. So based upon that, Mr. Rylan Rivas, Rivas Law Firm.
Madawe, all you fellow tribesmen. My name is Ryland. I know a lot of you. I don't know many of you, but I was one of the fortunate people who came along in the 60s. I was born in 1949, and in the 60s, when we were all struggling, before there was casinos, before there was tribal sovereignty that was recognized by the state of Oklahoma and the federal government that was taken away from us in 1949, we had a business committee here who looked into the future. And that business committee consisted of Haddon Onai, Jim Cox, Lee Motog, George Wallace, Joe Atokney, and Frank Oberle, who's sitting back there now, and I think he was about 20 years old at the time. And those guys all got together and asked, along with a guy named Dr. Everett Rhodes, asked if we needed a lawyer. We needed a tribal lawyer because we didn't have one. Of course, then we didn't have any money either. We all met at the Soil and Moisture office, and we didn't have this building. We had about a $3,000 a year annual budget. So with their help and encouragement, I ended up going to law school through the Summer Indian Law Program in Albuquerque and then to the University of Oklahoma. After law school, I was fortunate, or during law school, I was fortunate to meet up with a guy named Browning Pipestem, who's a legend in the Indian law business. Browning Pipestem and I became law partners in 1974. And from 1974 to 1978, we worked tirelessly to try and get our Indian sovereignty back, recognized by the federal government and the state of Oklahoma, and it finally happened in a case called In Re Grass. So after that, we were honored by being chosen as the first judges to be selected for the Court of Indian Offenses since Quanah Parker. And we served as judges then to get that court off the ground for that jurisdictional issues that we had. After that, Browning and I ended up splitting up because we had different things to do. My people wanted me here, and I came to work for the Comanche tribe. And I was here until 1980. At that time, there was some political split. I didn't want any part of it, and I stepped away. I've been practicing law for 42 years. I'm a very fortunate guy. I'm 66 years old. I have a law practice in Chickasha, and I have an office in Oklahoma City. I would be honored to have the opportunity to work with the tribe during for the next few years. I have a little plan in mind. Since I was out of law school and I was the first tribal member to get out of law school, we have about 9 Comanche lawyers scattered around the country. We also have some kids that are in law school. My plan is to do two things. One is I think I can save us about $700,000 a year in legal expenses if you hire me. You will not be paying for a big law firm, you'll be paying for my services. You also will get this. My plan is to get these kids out of law school who are available and who want to, and put them to work with me and mentor them while they're in law school, while I'm working for the tribe, to allow them to learn on the job and to become ready to work for you. I know there are kids out there who have told me today that is their desire, to become lawyers for the tribe. We can do well, and we will do well. I'm just humbly asking for your vote. We have a lot of high-powered legal talent over here. There's no question you have good lawyers that are coming to serve you. I think I can do a very good job for you. I will never lie, cheat, or steal from you, and I will only do what is necessary to make sure that our Constitution is upheld. That will be my Bible. I was there when it was adopted, and I'll be there for it, to support it, and support the people. I'll answer any questions you have. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you convention?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what family you come from and everything? The background convention?
I can tell you some, yes, sir. My great-great-grandfather is Tabernatica. Here's the son. I'm a direct descendant of his through my grandmother, the Roach family, then through my father, Louis Rivas, who passed away on December 28th. My father, a lot of you older people know my dad, or knew my dad. He spent a lot of time at the Elder Center with my mom. He passed away on December the 28th from Parkinson's disease. Great guy, fought in 2 wars, and was a hero. He made this. That's why I'm wearing it today. Good on. Anybody else? There are no other questions? Good up.
Thank you, Mr. Rivas. Thank you. The next one up is Mr. Christopher Titanic Law Firm.
Yes, my name is Chris Titanic. I am a native Oklahoman, born in Choctaw, Oklahoma. 2 daughters, both at the University of Oklahoma, a freshman and a junior. And I graduated both my undergrad from OU and my law school from OU. And I graduated in 1986, so this is my 30th anniversary graduating from law school. I've been fortunate enough for the past 8 years, I've been an adjunct law professor both at the University of Oklahoma College of Law and the OCU College of Law. And I would agree with Mr. Rivas that that's a great idea to get the younger folks involved, and that's going to be part of my platform that I'm going to explain to you in a little bit. I worked 8 years in the tribal and casino arena, representing a casino software company. I am the vice chair of the Indian Law section of the Oklahoma Bar Association. And so next year I will actually be the chair of the Indian Law section of the Bar Association. My platform basically consists of 3 items. 1, I am a constitutional lawyer, and Article 2 of the Comanche Nation Constitution is to protect your sovereign rights. I'm a firm believer in that. Number 2, I am a business lawyer. I spent most of my career as in-house counsel with Kerr McGee, based in Oklahoma City, and Devon Energy, based in Oklahoma City. And part of my job was to actually do exactly what the Comanche is looking for, is to bring in a lawyer to manage all the legal affairs. So you have a couple of options when you do that. You can either hire a large firm or a law firm and then let them handle that all, or you can hire a solo practitioner like myself or my predecessor, and then you can actually hire specific lawyers and not law firms. So that's one thing you should consider in looking at the competition for today's tribal lawyer. And on the business side, I've actually worked with the KCA. We're trying to put together a retail shopping establishment on Gore Boulevard in Lawton. And so I've been working with the KCA with the tribal attorneys representing them and also the city of Lawton. And it's going to be a wonderful, it's going to be a revenue generator for the KCA group. It's a wonderful opportunity there. And then finally, the last thing I'd like to close with, as being a professor at both OU and at OCU, I really am a firm believer in bringing the young tribal law students in to work in an intern program because, as Mr. Rivas said, it would save you a lot of money. It gives a lot of experience to the tribal youngsters. And I'm an advocate of education and saving money. So I think that would be the platform that I would like to propose to you all, and I would appreciate your support. Thank you.
Okay, next is William R. Norman, Bob Strauss, Dean and Walker.
Good afternoon. My name is William Norman with Hobbs, Strauss, Dean and Walker. This is my colleague, Kurt Kickingbird. I want to thank you for allowing us to be here today. I don't want to take up much of your time. I just wanted to focus on a few things about us that may be a distinguishing feature between us and some of the other folks that you consider today. Our law firm was established in 1982 by a number of folks that have been working in Washington, D.C. on Indian land claims for a period of time. So we have a long history of our founding members of our law firm that have been doing Indian law for many, many years. In 1982, we were established, and our goal was to promote and defend tribal rights. If you look at our motto on our website, if you look at our business cards, you see that's what we do. We exclusively represent tribes and tribal organizations. So you won't see us on one day representing an Indian tribe and on another day representing a bank or an oil company that's seeking to waive your sovereign immunity from suit. Our focus is solely with respect to tribes. We've done that nationally. Our firm is located in Washington, D.C., and Oklahoma City, and we have some other offices around the country. And because of that, we have individuals who have experience and concentrations in all aspects of Indian law, whether it's housing or Indian Child Welfare Act, whether it's gaming, whether it's taxation. So any sort of problem that a tribal government or an agency of a tribal government may have, we have individuals who concentrate in that area and can provide the representation and do this on a regular basis. I think the other thing that we might point out is that for a number of years, as many of you are aware, we represented the Comanche Nation in several different capacities. We appreciated the opportunity to work with you, and over a number of years, we had the opportunity to assist you on many issues. Some of them were negative that we had to clean up, and some of them were positive. If you had an opportunity to take a look at our presentation, you saw a long list of those, and I will remind you of a few of them. At one point, you were facing an IRS fine of over $12 million, and we were able to knock that down to less than $2 million, saving you $10.5 million. There were various points in times when we were your general counsel where the NIGC was seeking to take action against your gaming facilities or close those down, and we were able to successfully defend your gaming interests and keep the facilities open. There was a period of time where your tribal gaming interests, 3 of them were not located on tribal land, and all 3 of those facilities were going to be shut down. And we were able to take steps to get those lands placed in trust for the United States for the benefit of the nation and preserve that effort. So over the course of a period of time, we've been able to protect you against lawsuits from individuals, enforcement from federal agencies, and a variety of things to protect and promote that tribal interest that you have. I think if you would talk to the individuals that we've worked with over the years, another thing that I think distinguishes us is we've been solely dedicated and focused on protecting your interests, the interests of Comanche law. So whether a particular individual was in office or not, our loyalty was not to a particular faction or a particular leader or a particular interest. Our focus was in defending your law, and that's what we would continue to do for you if we were fortunate enough to be hired. Thank you.
I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. I got out of law school in 1969, and that was also the same year that, as a Kiowa, I was appointed to the KCA Land Use Committee, which I served on until '71. Our firm, Hobbs Strauss, Jerry Strauss handled the KCA Indian Claims Commission case, which resulted in a $35 million judgment. So Jerry Strauss and the firm, and those in the firm, have been concerned about issues affecting the Comanche Nation for a long time. We regularly have law students as interns in our program, in our office, not only in Oklahoma City, but in our main office in Washington, D.C. So William and I also were the primary negotiators on the State Tribal Gaming Compact. And since that was implemented and you fully embraced Class 3, you've increased your revenues substantially, $20, $30, $40 million a year beyond what they were. So we've solely focused on serving tribes, keeping you out of trouble, or minimizing the trouble that you have to face in terms of fines, and trying to save you money, and trying to push that money into programs that serve tribal members, whether it's health or education or medical kinds of services. So we enjoyed our time here before, the 12 years or so, and we'd love to do it again. Thank you.
Next is David McCullough, Dorner, Saunders, Daniel, and Anderson Law Firm.
Yes, my name, as I said, is David McCullough. Dorner, Saunders, Daniel, and Anderson, just a quick overview, is a law firm historically out of Tulsa. They are located now in Oklahoma City. I've been associated with them for 10 years. Got tired of driving to Oklahoma City, so I've opened up an office in Norman, so now we're located in three locations. I was just to give a history as maybe some of the others have done, I was graduated from law school in 1984. Very honestly, Indian law was not something I anticipated practicing. I was actually working, basically we were representing a newspaper in Oklahoma City. A business committee for a tribe got sued for libel. They called the newspaper, wanted to know who their libel attorneys were, which my partner and I. We were retained by them, and I learned this concept called tribal sovereign immunity, which is something that I had never focused on before, and I'm sure that most of you looking back at me say, well, where were you during all that period of time? Say again, it wasn't an issue, but from 1984 forward, our practice has expanded in the area of Indian law. We started out basically in the 80s with a lot of other tribes as you were developing your courts. We started out creating the court codes, working on the child welfare matters, which were some of the areas that really were leveraged for tribal sovereign immunity back during that period of time. From 84 to 2005, I was basically in a two-man law practice, which was Michael Medicine Associates. A large portion of our work was Indian law. Some of you would be familiar with the Oklahoma Tax Commission Citizen Potawatomi case. We argued that case, my partner and I. Whenever I mention that case, I have to go to the other side and say we also argued the CNL case, which obviously was not quite as good for the tribal side. But our focus has been on Indian law for years. And you all are going to sit through 80 minutes of listening to attorneys talk, which is, I feel sorry for that. But it's important. What you're doing here today is important, and I really appreciate it that so many of you are showing up to, I know, elect officials and nominate officials, but also to hire an attorney, because it is important. Because what the realization we came to in 2005, my partner and I, was that tribes had evolved to such a point that smaller firms couldn't handle all the issues that were there. And at that point, we were approached by Dorner Saunders, and after some work agreed to go with them, because you all now are large corporations. with your sovereignty, with your large corporations, you have all these issues you have to deal with. You have the issues of the environmental issues, you have corporate issues, you have Indian health issues, you have all these issues. And I think that and we saw the need for possibly being able to provide those services through a larger enterprise, which is why we joined Dorner Saunders. Now, as I say, I've now been in this for 32 years. If you were to retain our firm, and of course that's what we're here today for, asking you to do, if you retain our firm, I would be the face of the firm. Whatever other services that the firm would provide, we would decide on that, but I would be the face that you would see every time that there was a meeting or an issue or any type of discussion you wanted to have. I think that I'm not going to take much time. Way too many people talk, but I represent one tribe that I've represented since 1985. Has gone through a lot of changes in leadership throughout the years. They actually hold elections every 2 years, so a lot has changed leadership. But I've been with them for 30 years, and the reason you're able to do that is you have a constitution, you have laws. Our philosophy is that Constitution speaks for itself. It speaks for itself regardless of who's in office. You're consistent in 85, you're consistent in 95, you're consistent in 2005. And that's our philosophy. And I'm not going to sit up here and continue to talk, so I thank you, and I would appreciate your vote.
Next is Michael McBride, Crow and Dunleavy.
Madowe Numanu. I'm bringing up our team from Crow and Dunleavy that was able to come today. And to my left is Jimmy Goodman, Christina Vaughn, who's the vice chair of our Indian Law Gaming Practice Group, Walter Echohawk, Harvey Ellis, and Jennifer Lamoran. We have served the Comanche Nation through 3 administrations, and it has been an honor and a pleasure to serve the Lords of the Plains. It has been perhaps the most incredible experience for me as a lawyer in my almost quarter-century experience to serve the Comanche people, and I hope that you would consider to retain us. As was brought forward from the others that spoke, you're now a $52 million tribal government, and you face a myriad of legal issues in terms of your casinos, your social services, your enterprises, your employees, and the myriad of issues that tribal governments face across the country. We have been around since 1903. Crow and Dunleavy was a law firm all the way back during Indian Territory days. We have 2 offices in Oklahoma City and in Tulsa. We have 130 lawyers, and we have experts in a number of different areas to provide services as needed. We serve you, the General Counsel, and we provide candid, objective legal advice. We don't get involved in politics, and we tell you the way that we believe that the law is and that the Constitution reads. We have a tremendous amount of experience representing a number of Indian tribes across the country. And we also serve a number of tribes here in Oklahoma. We provide strong legal advice to tribal governments, and from the get-go, we protect tribal sovereignty. When we were first hired, the nation faced a myriad of lawsuits against tribal officials and the tribal government, and we were able to get those dismissed. Our materials in the back and also at our table highlight some of the victories that we've had for the Comanche Nation. Some of the victories include the Indian Agency Cemetery. We helped bridge a gap between the Department of Defense and the Army, as well as the Comanche Nation, to provide access to the Indian Agency Cemetery that was closed off to citizens for quite some time. We also won a victory against Governor Fallon in the state of Oklahoma over your tobacco compact. We were able to get an injunction in arbitration and enforce that injunction in federal court against Governor Fallon, and get you the most favored nations clause that you deserved in the compact, to get you the same terms as the Chickasaw Nation, the Choctaw Nation, and other nations under your tobacco compact. That saved hundreds of jobs and had a substantial financial impact. Recently, we were involved with helping the Tahoe family with the tragic and unfortunate death of Christina Tahoe in the Comanche jail. And we have assisted in focusing government attention on that travesty and helping the family get justice. The trail is not over on that matter. We helped get the assisted living center off the ground, get it licensed and get it going for the elders. And we've also have been working on the CDST case. That was a group out of Phoenix that had gaming devices, and they claimed that they lost profits when you kicked them out of the casino. Previously, you settled the case and paid them $8 million. But the settlement agreement didn't name all the parties and didn't name all the claims. And so now they come back and claiming another $38 million. We won in federal court, getting a case dismissed there. We won in the Court of Indian Appeals, and we're back in tribal court and have won a number of rulings there. And we're waiting for a motion for summary judgment to finally put that litigation to rest. Just last week, we won a huge judgment for the Citizen Potawatomi Nation in arbitration, compact arbitration against the state of Oklahoma and Governor Fallon. And this is a tax dispute. And this involved liquor licensing and the state of Oklahoma trying to enforce sales tax on the Citizen Potawatomi on their reservation. And the arbitrator ruled in our favor and issued an injunction. And that has been filed in federal court now for confirmation. And it's worth hundreds of millions of dollars to the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. If anyone is interested in that decision, we have copies over there. It's only 5 pages long. But what was remarkable about it was we got the arbitrator to recognize the Bracker test, a balancing test that's very hard to prove and hard to get courts to adopt, that balances the tribal and federal interests against the state interests, and he found that those predominated and that they should be protected. We represented the Chickasaw Nation before the National Labor Relations Board and have brought success together with other law firms in protecting their treaty rights to prevent the National Labor Relations Board from coming on their reservation and organizing and controlling labor at their casinos. Walter Echo Hawk has been involved with the Klamath tribes for over a quarter century and was able to get a water rights adjudication victory in Oregon. We have served the Sac and Fox Nation, and were able to get dismissal of $8 million worth of claims against them in tribal court, in federal court, and also before the National Gaming Commission. We got a $2 million judgment for the Eastern Shawnee Tribe of Oklahoma against a gaming financier. And we've also gotten an injunction for the Eastern Shawnee Tribe. We won an arbitration for the Eastern Shawnee Tribe of Oklahoma against Oklahoma and Governor Fallon. And we're able to get that confirmed in federal court involving their gaming and jurisdiction of tribal courts over tort claims. We are currently the Attorney General and General Counsel to the Seminole Nation, and I've held the position of Attorney General for 4 terms for the Seminole
Time's
Nation.
up.
We have a national practice, and we appreciate the opportunity to represent you. And we employ Indian attorneys full-time. So thank you for the opportunity, and we hope that you will retain us. And if not, we'll be happy to transition our files to whoever that you hire. Thank you very much.
Next is Clint Cowan Fellers Snyder.
Good afternoon. My name is Clint Cowan. I'm with the firm of Fellers Snyder. We are a litigation firm based in Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and we were founded in 1963 by Jimmy Fellers. Jimmy Fellers was one of the first, or the first, Oklahoman to be president of the American Bar Association, and he was also president of the Oklahoma Bar Association. Even back in the 60s, my firm, through the founding partner, Jack Blankenship, represented Indian tribes, and we've been representing Indian tribes ever since. This is what I do. On weekends, I go to tribal meetings, and I'm out with tribes. And the truth is, all of these attorneys are great. They're good attorneys. There's not going to be a lot of difference between one set of attorneys and the other. My firm primarily focuses on litigation. A lot of big firms have multiple practices that feed their litigators. We're hired because we're great litigators, and we go to court and we win for our clients, and that's what I'd like to help you all do. I want to work with the Comanche people, and I'd be proud to represent you and defend your sovereignty. And I'm sorry that you have to sit here and listen to lawyers for an hour. I know we all have better things to do, but thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming out today.
Forrest Tadanepa. Dorsey Whitney.
Madawik, Nanani at Forest Quahara doing Nisit Numina, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Nina Kimara, Saad and Nisakat Sikatavan. Hello to you all. Like I said, my name is Forrest Quahara Tadanipa. My father is Cornell Tadanipa. My grandmother was Esther Anko. My great-grandparents were Mike Tadanipa and Martha Manatachi. Came here today just to talk to you a little bit about myself and about my law firm. It's called Dorsey & Whitney. I was graduated from college 9 years ago. I graduated from Stanford University with honors. I was on the cross-country and track teams there. Thank you. And through my experience at Stanford, I had the very good fortune to get a full academic scholarship to go to the University of Minnesota Law School. I graduated from there 6 years ago, magna cum laude, and was awarded Order of the Coif, which is given to the top 10% of students. From there, I worked for a federal judge. I was one of over 600 applicants for that position and was selected by her to kind of be her right-hand man. It's called her judicial law clerk. And from there, I went and I wanted to work at a firm that had a good, strong Indian law practice, but also had a strong name, kind of in this mainstream Thaivo world. So that firm was Dorsey & Whitney. They're ranked in something called the Vault 100. That's the 100 top law firms in the country. Not just Indian law practice, not limited to anything, but just the top 100 law firms of any kind. So, for any practice area, any type of law, whether it's any sort of business law or Indian law, the name Dorsey & Whitney, it means something to the lawyers on the other side because it has that recognition, that name recognition. And that was important to me to kind of, to work for a firm that had that strength in the mainstream society. But they also had an excellent Indian law practice. It's been ranked as a top Indian law practice law firm in a publication called Chambers and Partners every year for a very long time. And it's also been ranked by U.S. News and World Report. In 2012, it was ranked as the top #1 Native American law firm of the year. So it's no coincidence that I worked there because I wanted to do Indian law, and I wanted to do some other things too, and I can do that there. So I do business litigation, and I do Indian law for Dorsey. Our Indian law practice, my Indian law practice, I've represented tribes across the country, represented the Keweenaw Bay Indian community in Michigan, the Gila River Indian community in Arizona, the Redding Rancheria in California. Our firm in general has a lot of other Indian law clients. We have the Miami tribe here in Oklahoma, the Yakima Nation out in Washington, the Port Gamble tribe out in Washington. So you have a lot of connections across Indian country, all across the United States. We work for a lot of Alaskan Native corporations up there. We have offices across the country. One question I've heard a lot as I've kind of talked to people here today is that we don't have a law firm office here in Oklahoma, but we do, now with modern technology, whether you're in Minneapolis or you're in Tulsa or Oklahoma City, you're just a video conference away. I came here, I traveled here today from Minneapolis, Minnesota, where I live with my family, and I love coming down here. I'd come down here as much as I could if I were the lawyer, because I get to visit with all my kinfolk and come and see our beautiful homeland here we have, And just to kind of mention a couple other things about our Indian law practice, we're kind of a fancy, Thibault law firm, but we give back to Indian law, the Indian community in general. Myself, I've worked pro bono for something called the National Intertribal Tax Alliance, which is a intertribal organization that works to defend tribes against attempts to tax them. So we've been on the cutting edge of a lot of important tax issues that exist in Indian country. There's a lot of new regulations in the tax field that could really benefit tribes because they prevent states from trying to tax them. So state counties and state governments are mad, so they've been suing tribes to try to invalidate these regulations. And we've been helping and defend them. We had a big case where we filed an amicus brief that I helped write for the Agua Caliente tribe. And interestingly enough, John Plata, who's also a tribal member, is their in-house attorney there. So that was fun to work with him. And also serve as pro bono counsel for the Native American Church in North America. So for all those reasons, I think it's a very unique opportunity that you all have here today, that you have a top law firm that's a top Indian law practice that also happens to have a tribal member that would be your contact at that law firm. And with that, I'll say about that much. I thank you all very much for your attention. Ura.
The last on our list is Richard James Grellner, Grellner Law Office.
Thank you, Ms. Cawthron. I'm reminded of the first time when I came out of law school in 1993, standing in front of all you fine folks, and there was about this many of you, and there wasn't 10 firms vying for the position because there wasn't any casino money, and all the contracts had to be approved by the Bureau of Indian Affairs for attorneys, which meant they had to prove the invoices. So I was the only one on the list. So I got up there and I gave my spiel. And by the time I got done that day, I had been called everything, including a white man. And so when it was all over and I had several arrows in my back, the old man that was leaving came up and he said, "Son," he said, "now you know the real meaning of circle the wagons." It's an honor to be here today. I appreciate the opportunity. My name is Richard Grellner. I want to thank the committee. I want to thank all you fine folks for coming out here and showing interest in your tribe. I left law school in 1993 and went straight to the reservation. I walked into the firm's office. They were having a firm meeting one morning, and I was paying my share of the overhead, yet I was an associate. And the secretary, who could type 140 words a minute, was running off all my clients. So I said, "Time out. Either she's out of here at 5 o'clock, I'm paying my share, or I'm gone." Came back at 5 o'clock and all my boxes were out in the hall, my brand new leather chair, my shingle. Apparently, my money wouldn't work. So I went to the tribe, and they said, we can't afford a lawyer, would you come help us? That's when it started, in 1994. The first thing we did is decided at Lucky Star Casino that we couldn't make it with just bingo. We moved forward. I was the attorney for the gaming board that approved the first electronic bingo game. We approved the Lucky Tab 2 game, appealed all the way that to the DC Court of Appeals. I was the plaintiff in that case. After we lost the first round, the Assistant Attorney General of the United States looked at me across the table in the summer of '98, and he said, you're the first guy I'm going to indict. We won the case, eventually on appeal. The multimedia bingo cases were won, and here we are today, 10 years later. So during that period, you can look up, and if you have my resume in front of you, we got the blackjack approved through the National Indian Gaming Commission. That's how you're playing blackjack today. So a lot of things have happened in 20 years, and a lot of jobs and a lot of things have come to pass. And I think it's a testament to your tribe that 500 of you all fine folks would show up today and support your government. As I've been looking over your Constitution, because everybody I represent, and I've represented about 13, 14, 15 tribes in this state over 20 years, the one thing I noticed that was unique about the Comanche Nation is that the Tribal Council, who is that? That's you all here today, okay? Who are you consist of? Everybody over 18 years old that's a tribal member. You are the supreme governing body of the tribe. That means you're in charge. That means when you vote, these folks up here are tasked, they have a duty to carry out your directives, okay? You have the exclusive authority under Article 5, Section 7 for membership roles. You determine what the membership standards are for leases over tribal lands. However, you do not have authority over leases over allotments or personal property or jurisdiction. You have authority, and you have to elect the officers. You have to authorize expenditures. You have to authorize tribal delegations and give them authority. You approve the chairperson's salary, okay? You determine the publication amendments, you hire administrators, and you hire the lawyer. So the lawyer works for you, okay? The CBC may minister what you do and carry out your aims, but the lawyer works for you. The duties of the committee are mainly ministerial. They carry out elections, they maintain the rolls, they develop budgets, disseminate, prepare for ballots. All these are on the handout you have with my resume. But they don't have authority over allotments. There's no jurisdiction over allotments or personal property. So when I was looking at what was going on at the last meeting, it became apparent to me that somebody hasn't read the Constitution, okay? Because not only is it in the fact that the powers are limited for the General Counsel over allotments and for the CBC, it's also in the Bill of Rights for individual tribal members. So if it's in your Constitution, that authority can't be given away and it can't be used. So if you hire me and you direct something, we're going to go get it done. If you have the handout, you have the second thing on the agenda. I hope I'm not going over time. Is that we need to act to legally protect and defend the revenue allocation plan to protect tribal members therein. That's because under IGRA, tribal welfare is something that can be spent on. The problem is if you don't have the proper procedures and have it set up right, you all can be liable for IRS payments. And that exact thing is going on, and the officials in Florida right now are liable personally for millions and millions of dollars of taxes because it wasn't set up in a proper program. We need to act legally to redefine how the federal government sends program money, so spends or allocates program money. When Oklahoma was, before Oklahoma was settled back in the 19th century, about half the tribes that came here, tribal members, were 5 civilized tribal members. About half of them were Plains and Midwestern tribes. But guess what? Out of a $4 billion BIA budget, the 5 civilized tribes in Oklahoma get over $1 billion of it. You guys just totally may get 10%. Why is that? That's because they don't treat the lineal descendant tribes the same way as they treat the one-drop tribes. That has to change. It's been going on for 2 generations. And if it doesn't change, you'll never get equity. We need to defend the nation's rights under treaties and federal law. Recently, you may or may not know, the Supreme Court ruled in a huge case, 8-0, in Village of Pender versus Omaha, that a reservation can't just be diminished without an act of Congress. Well, you guys have 500,000 acres out here west of Lawton. That reservation's never been diminished. Those rights need to be reclaimed. You need to act together. And the last thing is, you've all ordered a forensic audit, and I think that needs to go forward judiciously, so you can clean up past corruption. And I want to agree with most of the lawyers over here, like Mr. Rivas said, and I've got a lot of respect for all of them. Mr. Goodman, one of the best trial lawyers in the state. I went to law school with Mr. McBride. I know David worked with him, William, Clint, and Ryland. They're all good, well, competent people. And you can't go wrong from a competent standpoint if you hire any of them. If you hire me, I can guarantee you, you will save $500,000 to $750,000 on your yearly legal budget. And I have an up-counsel that handles my litigation with me. We're registered in the Western District of Oklahoma and Washington, D.C. And what things we don't know, we'll go find. But I want to say, I want to tell you folks that it's good that you're here today. It's good that you're showing interest in your government. One other issue is with bringing back Comanche tribal members. I suggest, just like Mr. Rivas does, I think it's a good program, but that the tribe pay for a portion of folks' law school. Kids coming out of school today have 6 figures in debt. And if you will do what the rural doctors do, which is give them half of their tuition so that they come back and give service to your tribe, you will build your own Department of Justice. And I want to close by saying thank you very much. It's been an honor. And if you hire me, you'll have me 24/7. Thank you.
Thanks to each and every one of you. We appreciate you showing up today. At this time, we will get ready to vote. If you look up at the screen again, you'll see how they're listed. And you'll vote just like we did for the tribal administrator. 1 will correlate with 1, so forth. Please line up in an orderly fashion.
Well, he's too late. Well, he should have got it quicker.
I told him, I let the damn line up. Yeah.
We gotta get out there and campaign for him, come on.
I have been.
Oh, well, I need to go campaign. Well, I did, son. We need to go out there.
What's going on, Mr. Danny? Better ask Susan. I'm
You will have to have that packet filled out by Monday at 5. Please pick up your packets. Also, I'd like to make an announcement that the Lawton Indian Hospital Centennial will be April the 27th of this month, or April 27, 2016, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the parking lot of the hospital if weather permits. It's their 100 years of service to our people. So please try to make that event. Be great.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you hear that rain? Oh. Yeah, she said they already got that forensic audit covered.
We have the results back on the vote for the attorneys. And with 56.56%, Grellner Law Firm, Richard Grellner, is the new Comanche tribal attorney. Woo! Yep. Want me to get with him and, oh shoot, where's my book? Okay, at this time, we need to take nominations for the election board districts. The first one will be Anadarko. Any nominations for Anadarko for the election board? I can't see him.
You have to live in the Anadarko voting district before you make a nomination. Whatever district you live in order
Yeah, I want to, my name's Jarvis.
Okay. If you have to live in that district to make the nomination of the person that lives in that district also.
Oh, okay.
Any nominations for Anadarko? Okay. Yeah, we have a gentleman. He's coming. Okay. Yes, sir.
Nominate, my name is Bellwood Miller. I nominate myself, Bellwood Miller.
Did you get his name? Okay. Go over there. Any other nominations from Anadarko? The next one will be from Apache. Any nominations for the election board from Apache? Please remember, you have to live there, as well as the person you're nominating has to be from Apache. Giant district. Yeah. She corrected me, the voting district, which includes Fletcher, Surreal, and the surrounding areas. Okay. Doesn't include Cement. Any nominations for Apache? Nominations cease. We'll move on to. Oh. Here he comes. Are you in the right district?
Ain't no telling. If it's possible, I'll make a motion, we just maintain with the one we got? Or do you have to have another one?
Okay. She said there's a provision for that to stay like it is. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Is that you? The next one will be for the Oklahoma City area. Oklahoma City. Nominations for the election board from Oklahoma City.
I'd like to nominate Alice Casnavoid. Alice Casnavoid.
How do you fix it? Y'all raise that mic. They fixed it for the Nunnapees.
For Oklahoma City Representative, I'd like to nominate Alice Casnavoid.
Okay. Have her go over there.
For Oklahoma City Representative, I'd like to nominate Ashley Figueroa Erickson. Yay!
Are there any more nominations for Oklahoma City? Yes, ma'am.
Patricia Fuchs, I'd like to nominate Brandy Heron.
Who?
Speaking
to Ma'am, could you repeat that for us, please, ma'am?
Speaking to My name is Patty Fuchs. I would like to nominate Brandy Heron.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, are there any more nominations for Oklahoma City? Nominations cease. The next one is for Walters. Any nominations for Walters?
My name is Mary Tosi. I'll nominate Angie Garza.
Garza. Okay.
My name is Angie Garza. I need to recuse myself for this election process.
Okay, all right. Thank you, ma'am. Oh, is that what it is? So she's got to stop helping. Got it. Okay. At this point, Ms. Garza has recused herself because she's already on the election board, so she will not help with the rest of this election, since she's running for a second term. Walters, any more nominations for Walters? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Judy Paget. I nominate Karen Goss. Walters.
Goss. Yes, she lives in Walters. I know she does. Are there any more nominations for Walters? At this time, nominations cease. Okay, at this point, the CBC has asked that if we have the candidates, the ones that are still here, for tribal chairman, I'll read the names off. If you're still here, we would like for you to come and address the general council for 3 to 5 minutes tops to just let us know what your platform is and to introduce yourself to the general council. At this time, if Mr. Gene Pica is still here. Mr. Gene Pica. Okay. What about Mac Masecki? Is Mac here? Okay. They did it last year. They did it last year, though. No.
Gene.
Gene. Gene. Oh, okay.
It is always good to speak to our people and have a chance to work for you and provide for our future. When I drive south on the interstate and I come over the hill and I see Mount Scott and Saddle Mountain and Medicine Bluff, I know I'm home. I was raised in Camp 7. I was raised with a lot of you. I was raised by my grandparents. How many of you grandparents are raising children right now? And my grandparents, they wanted us to do something in our life. And my brother and I, we did. We tried to do everything we could to serve people. I have served Indian people and Indian tribes for all of my career. And that is by design. When I was in the 9th grade, I decided I was going to go to college and then I was going to go to work for my tribe. Well, I did that, but my tribe, there was no tribal complex. We were probably still with the KCA. Excuse me for mentioning the name, Lee Motah, everything was in his briefcase. So during 1979, we had a takeover. I got a chance to talk to Lee in depth in the evenings. At one time, there were sentries they would see at night protecting our complex. We went through some rough times. So back then, after that, I went to school, I got an education, and I come back to work for the tribe. I'd like to see us do that again. We graduate a lot of students, but those students, we need to have something here at the Comanche Nation to serve those students. Once they get their degrees, they need to come back home and work for us. So I want to build a strong tribal government for the future. So when I drive by the interstate and I come by the complex, I look over that fence, and I remember when I had kahoos running over my feet when I was writing grants in the 80s. I wrote grants as a tribal administrator, tried to reorganize and restructure, and today we have several programs, 40, 50, whatever, and they all answer to the TA. That's what you call a pancake structure. I reorganized so that we had departments, and those departments were responsible for those directors. So you go through a process as an administrator. You plan, you organize. In this case, we have to organize and have tribal priorities for the tribe so that we can accomplish things for our young kids, our children. We have to plan, we have to organize. We have to staff, we have to have proper staffing. That's where these intern programs come in, and those of you that have qualifications, you need to work for the tribe and help us build a strong tribal government. We also have to direct, those directors have to direct those employees that are underneath them. And we have to control our dollars and make sure we're spending money the way we should. All the CBC should be held accountable for our dollars. The TA should give a monthly report on budgets to the CBC so that we can take corrective action when we are overspending in certain programs. And all of us have to represent the tribe. These things I'm talking about were not done overnight. This is how I manage. You plan, you organize, you staff, direct, and you have to represent. You have to represent our nation in a good way. And until we get these things running all the time, we really can't provide innovative programs. We really can't provide programs for nurses, our college, our higher ed program, our young kids. And these young kids are important, and I don't see any programs for our young kids out there right now. So I have a background in early childhood, and I would like to see us serve our young kids. These fathers being fathers to their children and learning their development stages and what they can do so that these children grow up strong and strong Comanche children and adults. Anyway, I'm up here again, and I won't be satisfied and comfortable until we make progress in areas that we should. So I'm asking for your vote so that we can build a future for our tribe and our children. Okay, thank you.
Is Mr. Masaki here? Mac Masaki? Oh, he did, okay. He had an emergency and had to leave. Will Owens? Mr. Owens? I don't see him either. Nick Tachawika?
Good afternoon, my fellow Comanches. My name is Nick Tachawika. For some of you who don't know, my parents are Nick and Peggy Tachawika from Cache, Oklahoma. I too, like Gene, was raised in Cache, Oklahoma, near Camp 7, so I was raised in a Comanche home. I am a full-blood member of the Comanche Nation, and I'm proud of that as well. You know, in the past few years, our nation has experienced difficulties with financial deficiencies, but I'd like to turn that around and work with the CBC and the tribal administrator in working to solve these issues. Also, I would like to work on and continue the forensic audit to accountability and transparency for the people and quarterly reports so that we can get this out to the people and so they'll know where we're at. Also, I want to continue working on the 60% RAP so that we can get the money into your hands. And this was approved 5 years ago, but we still don't have it. So I want to be able to work with the CBC as well and whoever's involved in getting the 60% RAP. It may be more. I'm all for a $5,000 RAP if possible, but you know, there's a lot of things that we got to do in order to reach that goal. So, you know, with saying that, I will be honored to be your chairman and then, you know, to serve you with dignity and respect. Thank you.
William Nelson.
Thank you. You know, we're about to lose our quorum, but I appreciate this, Madam Chair. My name is Willie Nelson. I am from the Red Elk. I am from the Homovich family, from the Big Tichawai family. Folks, the chairman of the Comanche Nation is the person in the middle of this elected 7. That chairman does not have power unless these 7 agree with him. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that? We're not a dictatorship, are we? I will follow that. That is our Constitution. That is our rules. I sure am glad we picked Mr. Rick Grellner. Did you hear how that man talked about our Constitution? Did he tell us that we had true sovereignty? Did he tell us we still have land unaccounted for? A lot of opportunities have been missed. I can't come up here and be a salesman. What I can do is follow our Constitution. And this thing that Mr. Tachawika talked about, RAP, well, it's just an agreement. It's called the Revenue Allocation Plan. I hate to say it, we've been doing it for 10 years, and we've been complicit to our own revenue allocation plan. We've been complicit because we haven't developed any economic ventures. We put everything in social programs. We have not doubled down our casino money. If we lose our casinos, what do we have? We have the water park bringing in money. We have got to have viable business. We've got to protect the house. This is the reason I'm running. The other reason I am running, I work with the great man. A lot of people don't think of this great man because he's really quiet. And he's always wearing sunglasses, even when it's cloudy or nighttime. His name's Robert Tipicani. I worked with Robert Tipicani as a TA, and guess what, nation? We left the nation in the black, did we not, Robert? With the $10 million reserve. We can do this again under my watch. So I'm asking you, Comanche people, you're all my people. I love every one of you. Anybody that hates me, I'll love you more. So with that said, God bless you. Do vote, and vote your conscience, and vote your nation.
Mike Burgess. Mike Burgess.
Thank you, Madam Chair, CBC members, appreciate it. To all you good people out here, thank you very much for the nomination. If you ask me what my platform is, to continue good work, to continue growing things for our people. Te'esana, Natokos, Alan Kutsoni Burgess, Te'esana, Napia Lavona, Ada Burgess, Te'esana Kaku, Ada Sawaka Burgess. Her name is Yellowfish. That's who I come from over here west of Apache. But Bekwa Ohapi had 4 brothers and 2 sisters. They come out of Cache and Indiahoma area. That's where my roots are. However, growing up, I went through a lot of places. Been a lot of other places in this country before I was 18. Got to see a lot of governments and organizations work. If you know me, I'm a fair person, fair manager. Some of you who don't know me would say I'm not. But I will follow the rules. I will continue on the path of growth for our people. And Mr. Nelson hit upon something that's very true. We need to invest in our nation. Investment is not creating jobs. Investment is into those businesses that bring jobs. And that's what we need to do. My whole background in my educational experience has been business management, public administration, economic development, and political science. So I'm not a stranger to any electoral process. And I can stand here and tell you, I did my utmost for you people. When you talk about the revenue allocation plan, we have a plan that was put in place, but we had people who managed it wrongly. We need to follow that plan, and we need economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not the mom and pop shops anymore. I'm sitting here among a small tribe up north, president of the Pawnee Nation College. Not one of my students or their people knew what the revenue allocation plan was, and they don't have it. So therefore, their investments are not in long-range investments, which is what we need to have. So I'm all for my people, I'm for the education, and I think that our people need our language and our history to be taught from our people. For those things I stand on our people's truth, because if we had not made, our leaders had not made changes in their mindset, we'd still be sitting in the mountains, other than being down here, becoming what's called the Lords of the Plains. We need to continue doing that and become the Lords of economic development. With that, I thank you.
The last one is Billy Komachi.
My name is Billy Komachi from the Quadahut brand from Indiahoma and Cache area. As a leader, I don't take this lightly. These seats that are filled up here, it's not just one seat, there's 7 seats up there. And what needs to take place from now is unity. We've got to bring prayer back to our tribe. We've got to become one again so that we can prosper for our kids. We've got to look after our elders. The things that need to be done as far as the unity on in these seats as your representatives, not as the total leadership. You are the total leadership. We need to find out where our finances are. We need to bring more stability to the departments of the tribe. We need to help out with our health. We need to do a lot of things for our elders. As far as the help that they get on an annual basis, I want to try to make that help on a quarterly basis. I want to report to the business committee and to the general council on a quarterly basis. Let everybody know, keep everybody informed where we are, what we need to do, our financial status, bring more economic development, bring things like that so that we can help our elders and our kids. Our kids don't just need clothes on a one-time basis throughout the year. They need them all year long, maybe quarterly. Help the kids out. Help them with school supplies. These things are things that this committee right here, as representatives of you, need to get together on. I can't make it as a leader, but I can recommend it as a leader. We need to make sure that our finances are in order so that we can be able to prosper into the future. So I humbly stand before you and ask you for your assistance in getting me to where I need to be so that I can help you as the Numina people. Ura.
Okay, that is the candidates that were running for chairman. Now, we only have 2 for committeeman number 1, and the first one is Jack Cotapony. And I was just told he left. Jonathan Poway.
Madowak. Well, I would like to just say that I am, like everybody else, we want to work together and we want to stay the course and get all our finances in order, first and foremost. And like the attorney said, bring more training for our youth. We need to promote education for all our children. I mean, I teach, so I'm a big proponent of education. And I believe that we need to bring more training programs to our complex so we can train the youth and the young adults to be able and make them employable. That does not happen very much here, and we need to go in that direction. Teach them carpentry. We don't have to send them to Votech. We can train them all here and make them more employable. And I just, you know, it just makes my heart proud to work for the nation. We are starting off in the right direction, and we need to keep going in that direction. So I hope y'all keep me on the CBC because I'm ready to dig in and make a brighter future for everybody, for all NUMs.
Committeeman number 2, Vernon Tejano. Is he here? Vincent Pokawatchit. Oh, here he comes. Kima. Yes.
Thank you, committee, chairperson. Comanche people, my name is Vincent Pokawatchit. I've always lived here in Comanche County all my life except when I was in the Marine Corps. And I've served on this committee before, and I resigned after 8 months because my sister was the chairman's secretary. She was a secretary for 4 chairmen, and her name was Gloria. Some of you probably know her. And at that time, we were facing problems with some of the tribal members that wanted my sister to resign her job, be fired, or me resign as a committee person. My sister was single, she had a son, and she needed her job. And we talked about it as a brother and sister. And I said, sister, I'm going to resign as committeeman so you can keep your job. I'm tired of people harassing you. And she was a good secretary for the Comanche people. And I tried to do my best when I was on the tribal council. We went round to round with Wallace Coffey. I've never agreed with Wallace Coffey's way of business. And I may have a lot of people against me for saying that, which I don't care, because I'm a Comanche, and I care what happens to our people. We're all takapa, and we're all takapa. Iktaparawana, sakuma namihansuwatsi. Taapa ta marisuta. because they want to help us. And if I get on this committee again, I will do my best to support this committee as long as they are trying to do right for our people. You, the Comanche people sitting here, you have you have grandkids, they're having a hard time. We as Native American people, as y'all know, the government's having a big election now for President of the United States. They say we got to get the Hispanic votes, we have to get the Taiwan votes, we have to get the Taiwan votes. But we as Native Americans from across this nation, and y'all know it, we are not mentioned. We're always left behind. And the United States government gives us crumbs to survive on. And then when we get into businesses like we're doing now, did y'all know that the Indian game in Oklahoma, of all the casinos in Oklahoma, we give the state of Oklahoma over $700 million a year. And they refuse to finish the museum in Oklahoma City. And the Chickasaws are going to come down and finish building that thing. And the city of Oklahoma City wants to be the managers of it. They don't want the Indians to manage it. Now that's the way we as Indian people are treated. That's why we need a government, even though we're a small tribe of only 16,000 people. We've got to have a committee here and a chairperson that'll stand up for our people and look after us. Because if we don't, people, we're down and out. We have nothing if we can't have a decent and straight and honest government within our own tribe. I served in the Marine Corps, and I served on this committee before, like I said, and I served as on the Democratic, I was a delegate for the Democrats from Fletcher, Oklahoma. I also served as president of the Parent Teachers Association of Surreal, Oklahoma. I've done a few things in this, and I barbered for 44 years. And let me tell you something, I've cut governors' hair, I've cut senators' hair, I've cut lawyers' hair, I cut our Indian people's hair, I cut doctors' hair, I've cut every race, every business people in this country. I've dealt with them, and I've learned a lot. Being in the private sector, I've learned a lot from society. I was educated by working out there with people. And I always stood up for myself and for our Indian people. When Taiwans tried to degrade me, I bowed up to them. Don't bow up to me. I'm a Native American and I'm proud of it. And I love my people. That's why I'm running for committeeman, to stand up for our people. There's no reason why we shouldn't be getting a 60% per capita payment. We have been robbed from year to year to year. We have been lied to about how much money our casinos are making. And this committee right here is finding out the truth. Right now, we're $20 million in debt. When these people took office right here, we had $70-some-odd thousand in our tribal account. And today, we have almost $3 million. We as Comanche people have been used and abused for years. And it's time we stand up for a government that will try to help us. And that's why I'm running for office, to work with this committee. Like I say, I'm just a talk up of myself. I have a son, I have a grandson. just like y'all. I love my kids. I'm talking my grandson to go to college. We all want to help our kids and grandkids. Tāpēc nemisūtājiet, nemīļājiet. Getāts un nasuāt viena namana. Tāpēc, he's the one that put us here. And we need to stand behind people that we feel that will help us. I will be the first to say, if I do not stand up and try to do right for the Comanche people, you can vote me out if I get elected. But I will do my best to represent each and every one of us. And I say, may God bless you. Tāpēc to you. Asūtai to you. Dasa tareta. Anātamana. Namisomoyoke. Nātamana ikarati. Tāpēc namīģājiet. Namisūtājiet. I tā parāvā. Tāpēc amare teawek. Sāku mare hansuāt. Arui tuan tuina. Tāpēc mare teawek. I thank you for your time, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Charles Wells. Charles Wells. Eddie Odyssey.
Hello, my name is Eddie Wayne Odyssey. I'm born and raised here in Richard Spur. I'm presently at Cash. I've been married over 50 years to the same person. Maybe that would get me a vote, I don't know. And I want to mention that Ben cut my hair once. Anyway, it's kin to me, so I can say what I want to about it. But anyway, I left Richard Spur and I went in the military. I got married. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any skill, training, or anything. So I went to the pool hall. Some of you probably remember the pool halls. And we had Indian guys and people around there that were in different services. So I said, which one's the easiest one? So because I got drafted. You know, you get them letters and you get drafted. So I got drafted and went to the pool hall and find out which service was the easiest. And they said the Army's no good. They play Army all the time. Marines are always physical. Navy, you out in the sea all the time. Easiest one was Air Force. So I went down to Air Force and I said, I got a notice here to report to the Army. They got a warrant out for me because I haven't showed up. He said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. You belong to me now. So I've been in the Air Force for over 11 years. And I have 3 children, Scott Odyssey, Michelle Odyssey, and Melanie Odyssey. And after that, I got my college degree. We live with my in-laws out at Mears. Got my college degree. My wife got a college degree. We both teach at Cash. We both retired in 2011. And I was on this committee once before, a long time ago. And I didn't like the direction, the way it was going. And I didn't participate very much after that. But what I've seen and heard now, I like the direction the committee is going now, and I like to be a part of it. So that's why I'm running for this position. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Gary Tomakara. Is Gary here? Janet Sawpitty. Mark Wadua. guess they're all gone. Okay, I guess that's it. Don't see anyone else. At this time, it's getting a little late. It's almost 5 o'clock. We would like to adjourn and reconvene May the 7th to deal strictly with the budget. And we'll devote that meeting to the budget. And we can do that to tie in with the election so it won't cost the tribe hardly anything to reconvene since it is getting late and I know people are leaving and stuff. So at that time, we would like for you guys to okay that. If we want to vote on it or use our wristbands or whatever, we would like to ask you to reconvene May the 7th, same time, same station. Thank you. Do what? I'm sorry. He was talking to, yes. Come here. Come here. I can't read his lips. Well, we have a motion. I need a second. Well, he needs to come up here. No? He just, yes, sir.
I make a motion, we adjourn and reconvene
Thank you.
on May the 7th. What time?
1:30, same time.
1:30
Oh, you want to do it early? Or what?
for the budget only.
He already made that motion.
Oh,
We need a second.
I say coin it.
Second, okay. Okay. He did. Can you, Jarvis, can you amend your motion to be for 10 o'clock that day? Okay, that way we'd have the day. Is that all right? And we had a second. Okay. Thank you. They're all leaving, they agreed.
Hey, we better vote on it. We better vote.
Madam Chairman, point of
Yes.
clarification is that is for the budget only at 10 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Who's graduated?
Do what? I got 3 people. Who's standing right here?
In the high school or college graduates, I don't know.
They
You can ask
seconded.
me. I'll say, well, they'll say, don't make no difference.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, I know.
Let me have your attention a bit. We made a motion on the floor to reconvene, and they want us to vote on that.
No, no, we just
To
need a general
reconvene.
consensus. You say,
No, we still have a quorum. We just did a count and we had 300 people. He wants to amend his motion to a general consensus, which means we
Well, we
just do a
can't
hand
help that.
count and the
We've
majority of them
already said.
present agree.
there's a general consensus. It's at 10 o'clock in the morning. Y'all when's your graduation? Well, I'm sorry. I asked, they didn't say. 1:30.
It is set
All
up
right,
the day
there, where
before.
they're voting now. General consensus, that's what they said. Oh my goodness. Well, they're voting
I know,
now.
I mean, that all that other rigmarole going on. Huh?
That's,
President,
a majority. Okay, what do you want me to say? Hang on.
April 30th?
We're trying to do it, Jerry, because it'll save money if we do it on those 2 days. Otherwise, it's gonna cost $40,000 more. Tell them.
What happens is if we have this meeting in May 7th, okay, then whatever the results are from the budget, we can put it on the runoff ballot for June.
Right.
Along with.
And save a lot of money.
That way we don't have to have a separate voting, one for the elections and one for the budget. It saves approximately $40,000.
I'm in favor of that.
Huh?
I'm in favor of that.
Okay, that's what we're saying.
By general consensus, the motion is to adjourn the meeting and to reconvene on May the 7th at 10 o'clock for budget and new business.
Yeah, we got it. It just went through.
Thank you. Thank you, babe.
I know, Harvey.
At this
That's a CBC meeting day. I know. We'll be here. Yeah, we'll be here. Everybody. Hey, see you. You gotta be careful going home.